I pray for vision, I pray for wisdom, I pray for weapons against the system. I pray for freedom to free the victims, to heal the brain, no pain inflict them. I pray for real, I pray for real. I talk to God, then wait for real. Can't fake the fun, can't fake the feel. I pray for fun, I pray for real. I pray for y'all.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CYA, Confessions of a Young Adult. I'm your main host, Cedric Carter, Minister Cedric Carter. And I have my co-host, my man,
Elijah Peterson.
And for the third time, but second time in a row on our show, we have a guest. Well, I don't know if we could say guest, but we have Miss.
I'm Joya.
Today we do have a lot of informational things that we're going to talk about today. But I want to start off with our golden rule we have for the show, Matthew 7:12. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you, for this is the law of the prophets. How y'all doing today? You know, it's Tuesday. You know, the weather is kind of like cozy. You know what I mean? You got to like warm up a little bit because that weather will have you ready to relax or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to try to bring y'all a great show today. First, we're going to talk about the WNBA. How y'all feel about them basically, you know what I'm saying, jetting off the court, you know what I'm saying? They said they ain't going to kneel, they just going to walk off before they play the national anthem. Then they came back after it was off. How y'all feel about that?
Well, first of all...
And it just wasn't black players, let me say that as well.
Yeah, that's the big thing I was going to say. Yeah, it wasn't just the black players who walked off. It was actually like all races who walked off. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad to see that everyone is coming together and making it a team effort versus only some people are stepping up. As in like other sports like baseball and NASCAR, only the blacks are doing it. Mm-hmm. Like the Black Lives Matter video that MLB put out. Yeah. All black players. No other races. So as long as everyone is doing it collectively, yeah. I'm for it.
But once there's
I think for me it was just seeing like the consistency, because I don't want ever to think that Black Lives Matter is a trend.
Yeah.
Or like this is just today's news. Or just seeing like other women and other people just being this is real life. We need to keep talking about this because the messages have yet to be across. Yeah. So I just like the consistency and just like we're still here and we're still going to talk about it and it's not going to be gone tomorrow.
My thoughts are, I agree with y'all. I think unity has to be the biggest thing with Black Lives Matter. With anything in this world, nothing comes about with change unless there's unity. A group of people believing in one thing and it outweighing whoever's suppressing whatever we're trying to push out or whatever like that. But I like how you said you don't want people to think that it's just a trend. Mm-hmm. I agree in that 1,000%. I feel like so many things get in the way and it can kind of overshadow the Black Lives Matter. You have of course, our President Trump. You have, basketball is back on now. Mm-hmm. Not just WNBA, but you have the NBA.
LeBron is back, baby.
Yes, he is. Yes, sir. Mr. King James. MLB is back on now. They've had a couple outbreaks, I believe, with the Florida Marlins, if I'm not mistaken.
They canceled them.
Yeah. So did they just cancel
They canceled the whole Marine schedule, I think.
Wow. I didn't. That's breaking news. I didn't know that. But I feel like I find it interesting how you said how the MLB is. They had a clip of Black Lives Matter, but it was just black players.
All black players, yeah.
One thing I've noticed with groups that are majority, almost all professional owners are white or Jewish. They all have this way of like, okay, we'll show you that we're at least willing to like do something.
Do the bare minimum.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I wonder why any of the MLB black players haven't like taken a stand for it. Like I understand at the end of the day, it's still a job, and you have to go out there and perform and stuff like that. But some of those players have pretty powerful voices, and if they say something, it can at least stick. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think it's with the whole NFL thing, because when NFL was like, "Oh, we're gonna take a kneel," and they saw that they were losing money, and so like, "Oh, we're not gonna do this again." Like, second thought, we're gonna say, if you're gonna kneel, you're out. So just like, I think it's just having the NFL make that statement and make that stand. It kind of like sets like the bar for other professional businesses to be like, well, if they lost money for just doing this for like one night, what happens if we do that? How much money are we gonna lose? How much backlash are we gonna get? And so I think if the NFL would have stayed consistent and was just, because people are not gonna miss out on watching football on Sunday. Like
For
they're
sure.
gonna be mad that one night and they're gonna come back. So I feel like if they would have stayed consistent, the money would have went right back.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, that is. I can't disagree. It's always about the money. Like T.I. and them say, if it ain't about the money, don't be blowing me up, hitting me up.
Yeah.
If it ain't about the money, at the end of the day, everything is about the money. Unfortunately, when it comes to professional sports or just the business realm
Yeah.
of how things go on in the United States, I salute the WNBA players, especially the ones that aren't black. The white players, those who aren't who don't have dark skin rather, or who would be considered black, them taking a stance, because those are the ones that we need to help, get this thing really popping. Martin Luther King and them was out there marching, in that heat and all that, but until, the white people started to get on Martin Luther King's side and the majority became, started to show up in numbers, it wasn't until then, until things really started to get popping, you know what I mean? So I think that was brave of them. And the WNBA players get treated really bad.
I can have it.
The salary,
I'm
the
sorry.
money, the hotel they stay
I
in.
can't.
It
you
makes
know-
me so upset.
If you want better hotels, sell more tickets.
Don't even because
I'm sorry, I
I'm only gonna say
can't.
one thing.
can't.
I'm only gonna say one thing. The Olympics. That's the greatest thing an athlete can go is
Yeah.
to participate in the Olympics. And you know how the Olympics sell the athletes? They don't go, this is the women's sports and this is the men. It's the same level.
Yeah, that's true.
If you
That's
go
true.
to the Olympics, you get the same airtime as the other guys. You get the same amount of attention. You get the same amount of sponsors. It's an even playing floor. And so if they did that with the women's, if they actually gave them time and airtime and actually spent time with them like they did with the NBA, there would be no argument. But you have people with your views.
I
help the
I
conversation.
can't get with it. I'm sorry. I love women's sports, but
And
basketball specifically.
What
I
is it
just
that
can't
you
get
don't
with it.
like though? That
To
it's
me,
not, it's not enough
basketball
action?
is about athleticism.
Sorry.
Not necessarily, it can be fundamental, but watching fundamental basketball to me is not entertaining. I don't want to see layup lines for 2 hours. That's basically what I'm getting out of a women's game.
Okay.
In my opinion. This is just my opinion. So yeah, hey, volleyball, I'm with it.
Why volleyball
Because it's
though?
convenient. If we're just going to say that, it's
What you mean it's convenient? What's that supposed to mean?
It's convenient.
What makes it convenient? What's convenient?
That's what I want to know. What's convenient?
What's
I don't want to go down that path.
No, we gonna
But I
go.
just feel
What's
like-
convenient?
Going back to the argument, I just feel like with men's sports and women's sports, it's always okay for men to get rowdy. It's always okay for them to be more
Yeah,
violent.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
a lot
I
of people,
agree with that.
they like the
That's
appeal
true.
of that. They like when LeBron gets like a little bit upset and very competitive. But like if a woman would do that, it's looked down upon. And so if women get violent and they get rowdy, the ref is like, oh, you're out. Immediate. And so the rules are much tighter and much more like strict. So women are not actually playing the game like how they want to play. So they have like so many guidelines. So I feel like once again, if it was an even playing floor, then people would actually join in to watch.
I can agree with that. I think it goes back to just how things have happened over generations, from how the woman is supposed to be, quote unquote, the housewife. They stay home while the man goes and do all the work and this and that. And I think over time, that has stuck into, like, I can watch WNBA because I just love basketball. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the dunking, all that is exciting from the men's side of view.
See, no, she made a great point. For me, it's not even about the dunking. It's being able to play physical. And I think that's what
I
women's
think
sports.
women can
That's
play
what I'm
physical,
missing
but you gotta
the most.
No,
It's
it's
physical.
I'll give you an example of lacrosse. Lacrosse is a very violent game.
Mhm.
And so, but like when men are just like rowdy and like bumping their shoulders, it's fine because that's lacrosse. But like with women, it's like if you bump shoulders or you're riding with her, that's like you will get kicked out the game.
Mhm.
I played soccer, and soccer is once again a violent game. And so why it was
For sure,
okay
for
for
sure.
the guys to be all bumpy and like all on each other and pushing. If I did that, I remember I got multiple red cards for me being violent with other players. So it's just like they see us as these old fragile little beings, and we can't play the
Yeah,
sport.
but
Yeah,
that's what I
nah,
was
for
saying.
real.
I think it goes back to like the mental side of things of like the woman is supposed to be the softer, kinder, and then the male is supposed to be the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that alpha dog. Not saying that's the way it's supposed to be, but unfortunately, throughout times, that's how it's always been. The man is the male share. He goes out, do all the hard, dirty work. The wife, you know what I'm saying? So over time, before the WNBA, what I think it was still women's soccer, before WNBA. But even back then, they were allowed. I feel like back then, women were allowed to play a little bit more physical with soccer.
I doubt it.
Well, from the games
They
up.
still had them probably wearing skirts.
Well, that's dress code, like, you know what I'm
They
saying?
were, they were wearing skirts to their ankles while planning to play softball. Like,
Wow.
no.
Like the nuns out there, the nun soccer team.
No.
That's tough. I mean, I don't
wow.
know. I feel like I don't know. I mean, you make great. I'm not disagreeing with anything you say because I actually
Yeah.
agree with what you're saying. I just think the mental side of things is the issue of like over time. You know, women are. I hate saying this, but women are seen as less than a man when it comes to the physical side of things, and that's just a fact of how people see it. But I mean, if you love basketball, you wouldn't mind. Like, you have to be a true basketball head to be able to watch WNBA.
Nah, but what the difference is, you watching it on TV, that's free.
Yeah,
Would you buy a WNBA ticket and go to the game?
I've actually gone to a game before.
Did you like it?
It was cool. Like, I didn't go
I
there
believe-
expecting to see a dunk
No, I
or
believe
none
it.
of
I
that.
believe
Like, girls can still cross each other over. They can still do all that. So that's what I'm saying. For me, it's a lot different. Sports
Yeah.
was really for me like that's all I did as growing up was sports. So I had female friends who were really good at basketball. Shoot, they used to be out there playing throw up tackle with us.
Yeah,
You know
for
what
sure.
I'm saying? So it's like my upbringing is a lot different from a lot of other people. So I don't see them as less. Of course, they aren't as big as us or as strong as us. Some are as fast as us or faster than us. Even some are quicker than us. But as far as like the strength side of things, that just goes back from, like I was saying, just over time, people seeing the men as the alpha dog thing or whatever. But I mean, you have a
See, that's what I was trying to say, Brother Robertson. They just don't generate the ticket sales.
And that brings me right back to the Olympics. The women bring about the same amount of audience-wise and the same amount of airtime, just because they put them as a same team. Like, it's Team USA. It's not Team USA Women's. It's not Team USA Men's.
Yeah.
It's Team USA. So if you put them together, you make it the same, they will generate the same amount of funds because they're
I don't think
so
they would
separate.
generate the same amount of funds. I do believe the women's can get better funds,
No
but
way.
I don't. It's just the way of how things are. It's unfortunate. I do believe they can get more money. Do they deserve more money? Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Because some of their salaries are basically, unfortunately, like they get paid like they're teachers or whatever. They
I
travel.
mean, second jobs.
Yeah, they travel and they go to these horrible, basically like regular hotels. When you see an NBA team, they go into like 5-star hotels. They got private jets. if I'm not mistaken, some of the WNBA teams still fly like commercial or whatever, or something like that. I agree, they do deserve a lot more though. They do deserve a lot more attention time because a lot of them are in the Hall of Fame. Lisa Leslie, Candace Parker will be another one. Tamika Catchings, which she went to my high school, Duncanville High School. It's so Diana Taurasi. I can name
Oh
off.
Lord.
I can name off a couple of them.
Nah, that's Brittany Griner. I'll
Look,
give
I
you a
just
couple. I'll
named
give you a
4 of
couple.
them. Actually, 5. I know my sports. Amelia, I know my sports, but yeah, I do believe they do deserve more though. And it's one of those things where I don't know. It's just a reality. It sucks. That's all I can say. It sucks, and it's unfortunate. And I actually used to work out with a WNBA player. What was her name when I was in college? I can't remember her name. But she was cold. She was like top 5 WNBA draft pick. And I used to train with her. So like I see things different. I'm not your average like just I like sports. No, like I really love sports. If I ain't got nothing else to watch, I'll watch golf. You know what I'm saying? And that's the worst. But like it is boring, but I don't know, I'm just a sports junkie like that. I can really watch whatever.
Nah, that's good.
But I mean, it's a lot with that WNBA stuff. But as we transition over, we're gonna talk about Robert E. Lee. What are y'all thoughts on Mr. Robert E. Lee?
So yeah, what Robert E. Lee doing right now is going through a school name change, if I'm not mistaken.
They're stationed out of
Virginia.
Virginia, okay.
Yeah. So right now they're saying they don't want to be considered as Robert E. Lee because he's like a Confederate leader or whatever.
Okay.
A general. He was a Confederate general.
Okay.
See, she got the facts. I ain't got the facts. But yeah, they're saying that that's not what their school stands for because, for one, it's like 85% non-white, and they don't want to be considered like a Confederate school or.
When it's predominantly black?
Yeah. So, to say it in a nutshell.
For sure.
So, right now they want to change it to Mr. Lewis. I don't really know his first name. I couldn't find.
John Lewis, the one
John
that just
Lewis.
passed? Yeah. John Lewis, yeah.
Now, if y'all want to give them some facts on who Mr. Lewis is.
He was a
Then
civil
y'all.
rights activist,
Mm-hmm.
and then he went into Congress.
He marched with Martin Luther King,
He
and
did.
he was heavy in the protests of Martin Luther King. He was deep in it. He ain't mess around. He was hard. He deserves all the adoration and respect. I hate that our president said he wasn't going to give him no acknowledgement or basically give him his just due for who he was and what he did as a civil rights
But can you expect
leader.
any less?
Not at all. Not from
Not
Trump.
at all. You know what I'm saying? But
Not from Trump.
he laid a lot of the groundwork with Martin Luther King, as well as many others that were with Martin Luther King and John Lewis. But I think that would be a perfect fit. And I never understood why, if it's a predominantly black school, why would they have that?
Or like, why even have the
It's-
statues? Why still having the names? You lost the war. So sorry that you're still butthurt about it. But like you can't even say that it's history because even in Germany, like they don't have streets named after Hitler. They don't have the Watchika just hanging around at a cafe. No, because it's not something that they want to stand for. It was it is against the law. And it's like, it's frowned upon. Like, why we want to talk about the darkest part of our history? And the same thing, like, why we wouldn't talk about, like, having a constant reminder that America owns slaves.
Yeah, America ugly right now. I mean, it's been ugly, but America is dog ugly right now.
Yeah, it's going through a lot.
And to not get off course, but I believe John Robert Lewis was a great person. He served in the United States House of Representatives for Georgia's 5th Congressional District from 1987 until his death, and of course 2020. 2020 has just been horrible. but he died from I can't even say the word,
Pancreatic.
cancer. Unfortunately, may his soul rest in peace. But hopefully, those that took under his wing, of course, choose to jump and fly as he would want them to do and continue on his legacy for everything he did, through his time on this earth and stuff like that. But he deserves all the adoration he's getting, especially from the black community, because he was I don't even know the word I could say that could even express how powerful he was in helping in the civil rights movement and stuff like that. But may he rest in peace. If y'all don't have nothing else to say about that, we can go on to something else. But we just wanted to, speak on John Robert Lewis for everything he did within the civil rights, and with his unfortunate death, may he rest in peace, and we're praying for the family. Now, I want us to get back to the sports thing, you know what I mean? So
2 days.
today,
Ladies, enjoy the TV while you can. In 2 days, it's a wrap.
what's in 2 days?
The NBA officially
NBA
starts
starts.
July 30th.
Ooh.
It's over with.
I need y'all to know for 2.5 hours, do not bother us.
It's going to be all day, every day, I'm telling you.
But, no, for real though, we've been waiting on this moment. We gave y'all
For sure.
time during this quarantine. We didn't really have much to do. We couldn't go nowhere. If we did go somewhere, we had to go with y'all. We couldn't go in big groups. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm single. I don't know. I'm just speaking from, you know what I'm saying, what people have told me. So I'm not speaking from my own experiences. Yeah. But I want to get back on this WNBA thing. So, Joy, what do you think would be fair for women outside of just the TV time? Like them getting more recognition from, I guess, the eye test. What do you think could be beneficial for women?
My thing is just when you first start basketball, like you're on the same level as a boy,
Mm-hmm.
most likely. And so like you go in, you play probably just from somebody's team that you know. And if you're really good, you go to a traveling team. The same thing with a guy. You probably go to a traveling team. And then so you probably really work hard, go on a basketball team in middle school, go on a basketball team in high school, you get scouted. And then you go to a D1 school. So it's you look at it, it's the same route. They both go to a D1 school, but it's just like they don't get the recognition. Like no one puts in the effort to talk about women's sports. Like even on the announcements, it's like, oh, our boys did this, and it's like, oh, let's not forget. Like, and they forget about the women's. Like they don't have the same recognition. It's just like it's off like back. It's like I'm trying to get my thoughts together. It's just it's like no one like cares, and it's sad because they put in the same work, they put in the same effort, they do the same things the guys do, and no one gives them the recognition that they deserve. And just like you said, there's women in the Hall of Fame, just as there's men in the Hall of Fame.
For sure.
And even though it's called the WNBA, it's still a professional women's team. They have to work their butt off to get there just as much as they got work their butt off.
You
And
better
so
speak.
they deserve to be having the same amount of airtime. They deserve to have the same calorie say, and they deserve it because it makes me upset that how can you do the same job but not get paid the same?
And then that's a whole nother.
And I can give you so many other examples how the women's soccer team are 1,000% better than the men's soccer team, and yet
That I agree with.
they don't get paid
No,
enough.
they are. For
They
sure.
constantly go to the cup. They constantly bring back trophies. Constantly bring back first place
They're a lot
prizes, and they
popular,
don't
too.
get it. They get
That
paid
is
less than when they lose. Like I think when men lose a game for soccer, they get paid more than when the women win, which is ridiculous. Because they win a lot and they lose a lot.
We're gonna talk about equality. Yeah, that I will agree because that whole I remember. I don't know why I'm going blank. Like I don't know their names.
And they also be going to practices while they're pregnant. Like they be playing soccer
Yeah.
while they're pregnant.
What's her name?
What the-
So
I'm really blank right
Jesus.
now. The soccer girl that was pregnant. I just went blank. But I do agree with you though. Especially the women's soccer. Like soccer, I played soccer for 3 years. We won a championship my third year. They made me the goalie like halfway through the season. Then from that point on, I think we only lost like one game. Went all the way to the championship. You know, our team won. And so I love soccer, but I agree 1,000% that it's. I don't know. It's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and plus the women's soccer gets way more views as well than men, and it's. I don't even know how to explain that, but that's part of the National Soccer Association. That's all that stuff, and it's super unfortunate for WNBA women's soccer. Now, one thing I will say, tennis though, they get paid quite a bit. That's almost.
But that's more of an individual sport.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? If a man is more dominant than a woman in an individual sport, it's almost like you would think they would get paid more, or whatever. But Serena Williams, well, the Serena sisters, not Serena, the Williams sisters. Of course, Serena has won more, and she has gotten paid a lot more than her sister. But those two get paid quite a bit. I can't think of the other girl.
Because they get paid on their individual performances. And I just feel like that's not like, it's not more of a team collective sport. It's more just like you get paid on how well you just do.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they also have a lot of advertisements outside of sports. And I feel like that's where women go wrong. They don't chase the outside advertisement that it takes to bring that revenue in. You see men, they're advertised by Nike, Jordan, Adidas, all
Women
type
are
of
too.
stuff.
Women are too,
Women
though.
are
to
Not
be
as
fair.
much as men.
But that's part of the corporation,
That
though.
goes back into my point.
Well, they have to,
that you're feeding.
it's the whole thing. They have to have the agents who want to chase those things. It's only so much they can do as an athlete. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors that nobody sees. So it's a lot more that they could do to chase that money if they wanted to. They're just not doing it.
There's only so much you can do when you're not the one who's in control of that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they don't have a lot of.
So
they have control, but not a lot.
They're putting in the effort, but like no one's picking up the phone. No one's trying to be like, well, you are putting the same exact work. You are putting the same exact effort in as the men, but we don't want to pay you the same. Sorry. And that's in real life too.
I can't argue with
a male brain surgeon gets paid more than a woman's brain surgeon, even though they have the same amount of years, same amount of residency, same amount of internship, same amount of school debt, and yet he gets paid more.
Yeah, that's just the reality.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
It sucks. It really does. It sucks, and I do believe there. Well, I know it's not just I believe. I know there are women who are just as great, if not greater than some men at their profession, and they deserve their just due and stuff like that. Now, that was a great, first topic where we talked about Robert E. We talked about the WNBA and all those things, but we're about to go into a break. We'll be back here shortly, but we're going to answer some of y'all comments and stuff like that, and we'll be back.
Keep me in my time zone when my mind's gone and I'm flying home and I'm stressed out and I'm tempted to get that styrofoam and go pull it up, but you know what's up and you know that ain't gonna solve nothing. I mean, Lord forbid I might fall or something and I'm all another cause to hold me down like bed straps at a psych ward. It's killing me, but you still with me when I fight hard. And you digging me when I'm egging you. Deal with me when my car's pulled. Could've dealt with me, but you fell for me before I fell for you. Keep me on that right path and the right math. Is you plus nothing's everything. You my everything. Sing. You ain't gotta question my allegiance, cause the way you love me, I could never leave you. I need you.
By my side, thick and thin, highs and lows, don't let go. We gon' ride, we gon' win, don't know how, all I know. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed.
How did I fall in this? No condition that get a mention, but you offer this unconditional love. I swear I sell it all for this. Trying to keep it together, forget my awkwardness. But often it's just you and me off in this valley of shadows. And I know they tryna pick me off in this, but all I need is you. It's funny just how off I get when I ain't riding with you. No adjectives for your awesomeness. They burning one for that burnout. This life done got them all turned out. Took time out to put time in, so I turn to you when I want out. Need is you. You slow me down cause you know me now. But my phony smiling, I'm acting like it's all copacetic. It's so pathetic, so juvenile. Know what you do? You keep me cool in the summer when they be dressing less and I be wanting to show off and stunt. If there ain't nothing to want, you give me all that I need. All I need is you to keep that fire burning for me. All I need is you.
By my side, thick and thin, highs and lows, don't let go. We gon' ride, we gon' win, don't know how, all I know. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed. You, all I ever needed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna answer some of the comments. YOLO Boy says sports are about the show, and the men bring a more powerful show to basketball. The fans choose what sport they will support. WNBA doesn't sell out arenas. You can't pay a person what isn't generated. And
Which
your
is very
response
true.
to that, Joya?
We can hand out money all day, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be losing.
It goes right back to my point. The women players can only do so much.
Uh-huh.
It's the people who are like in charge of WNBA and the people in the NBA and the airtimes, the big shows like the NBC, all the other stuff. If they actually put in the effort to try to make the women's team seem more attractive and seem more entertaining, just 10% the effort that they put in men's, I promise you'll be entertaining. And I go back to the women's team's name. Their names are like Dream and like Skies and the Sun. And that doesn't even sound fun. It doesn't even sound like we're watching a game. It sounds like we're watching some fantasy book movie. Like it doesn't even like. And I
Those
feel like
animated teams
they got
on
real
2K.
lazy when it came to the women's sports. And I
Yeah.
feel like you need to stop being lazy. And if you need to put in the effort. If you want something to be done, you need to put in the effort. And you're the one in charge. You need to put in the effort. And if you want to see revenue, put in the work. And they refuse
that's
to put
true,
in the
though.
work.
I agree with that, but at the same token, they ain't just got enough sauce like the men do.
Yeah, I gotta ask you a
I-
question, Joy. If you had a choice, you got free tickets. One's to see LeBron James. You got LeBron James over here, free front row, and you got Candace Parker, free front row. Who you going?
Don't
LeBron
you lie.
or
Don't you
Candace-
lie.
LeBron or Candace Parker?
I'm not going.
Oh,
I'm not going to the men's game.
so you gonna go to Candace Parker?
I am. Sorry. That's,
Oh, wow.
I know it's not what you're looking for, but that's my honest answer.
No, I just wanted an honest answer.
That's my honest answer. If it was football all the way, I'm going to go see Dak Prescott. I'm going to see them. But like, since
They got a women's football.
Yeah, they got
league.
women's arena football too.
But it's not even football. It's them in high heels. Once again,
It's not them in high heels.
and once again, if they made
Nah, they do be in like
if
lingerie.
they even
What
play
lingerie?
for
They're
it
like
and
showing
had
the-
actual women play actual football.
Now men are going to see that.
If they had actual women play
wrong
actual
reason.
football, I would actually go.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
since they have them dressed up and like stuff that they obviously can't play football in, it's not even the game anymore. It's a pageant show.
Nah, that agree.
And
I agree with.
So it's just like, put in the same effort.
Let me play
Same
football.
effort.
Football in Victoria's Secret.
So you would honestly go see Candace Parker over
Yes.
LeBron James? Okay,
I
so
can't
would you
deal
go
with
to
that
a
one.
women's All-Star game over a men's All-Star game?
See, that's where they need to do the integrating right there. All-Star Weekend. We need to integrate women and men play at the same time. Because I've never seen women All-Star East versus West ever in All-Star
You
Weekend.
know why? Because they don't put in the same effort.
Ever.
They're like, why don't we get enough airtime? Why don't we sell out arenas? Because you don't put in the same effort. You
That's
don't,
all- yeah,
you don't
All-Star
try to make
break.
You don't try to make it seem like
Adam
fun.
Silver, that's the commissioner
You
name
give
in
them
the NBA.
these
Adam
weird- you give
Silver.
them these weird
No, he's
names.
not over the WNBA though, is he? No,
Adam
it's
Silver.
on-
Ain't Adam
Put
Silver
in
the
the
commissioner,
effort.
right?
Put in the
Oh, the
effort.
NBA, but I don't think. Joey, I agree. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be a true sports fan to be able to like watch it.
Yeah.
Like I can watch it in, like you know what I'm saying. Like let me ask you this. Hopefully you don't take this the wrong way. You got a Lamborghini and you got a Corvette, right? If you can get the Lamborghini or the Corvette, which one you gonna take?
The Lambo.
Why?
I like it better.
But why do you like it better?
I don't know.
Is it because it looks better? It's faster?
It's advertised better.
I wouldn't say that because
I would say
Lamborghini
that.
doesn't have an advertisement. Corvette
It
actually
does-
has
it
an
doesn't need to.
advertisement.
If you're Fast and Furious, are you gonna get a Corvette or a Lamborghini? Which one looks prettier? The Lambo.
So it's the same thing with.
That's
with
my exact point. If they would,
But that's the reality of
if they
it.
would glamorize the Corvette and put in more effort to make it seem like the Corvette is like the best car ever, people would be like, "Oh, I want the Corvette."
yeah,
But since they don't do that and they have like the Lamborghini as like this glam car and has like you've seen every movie, every rich guy has it, every rapper has it, you want that car. It's the same thing. If you put in the effort and advertise it better, people are going to want it.
okay, I can put it to you like this. So you say the Corvette should be advertised more, right? Well, Lamborghini isn't advertised because can't everybody afford a Lamborghini? Everybody can't be LeBron James. Everybody can't be Steph. Everybody can't be Greek.
I'm
know,
not
but
trying to complain. Compare the
No, no,
players.
but I'm just saying, like,
Nah, with sports you have to, especially when you're talking about tickets.
But I'm talking
Ticket
about the business aspect, not the athleticism.
but if it goes back to business, everybody ain't LeBron James and everybody ain't Steph and Greek in them. You got tall women who walk and do the same thing. Dribble, shoot, and make a layup. With men, everybody can't dunk the same. Steph can't nobody shoot like Steph. The only person that's close to it is Clay, and that's his teammate. So it's like it's just more star power, honestly, in the NBA than it is, and
Because we always see them.
regardless if we didn't.
And we know, like, we always see them. It's the same thing. If you constantly see these players and you constantly see their talent and constantly see what they're capable of, you're going to be like, oh, definitely LeBron's the best. Definitely Steph can shoot from a three with his hands behind his back, eyes closed. Of course you can see that because we constantly see their talent being showcased. And I feel like we say, oh, women can't do that. Women can't do this because their talents are not being showcased in the same level. And they're just as talented, just as hardworking, and putting the exact same effort and going down the same route. But no one wants to put in the effort to showcase their talents. And I bet you 100% that these women can go up against these men. But you don't believe it because we have yet to see their talent being showcased 100% just as the men are.
I agree to.
I saw a
certain
comment
extent.
earlier that said, "Who wants to watch a men's volleyball game 7-on-7?" So let's flip the script a little bit. Would you prefer to watch a woman play volleyball over men, right?
Absolutely.
But it's the same thing. But men are way more athletic than women in volleyball. But the difference is volleyball is seen as more as a women's sport. Like you said from the beginning, basketball was meant to be for men. Women wasn't in the picture at first.
Oh, that's a
came
great
in
point
later.
because women's gymnastics get way more time than men's gymnastics.
And men are
And you
way
know
better
why?
at gymnastics.
Because it showcases a women's sports. If
That's
you
right,
don't,
it's-
if
it's
you,
just
if
depends.
you,
Yeah,
you
but
see it as
gymna-
that because we see a lot of people we see in movies and like TV shows and commercials, you always see kind of like women going to gymnastics. You never see the little boy or the girl man going to gymnastics, even though that's completely normal. If you don't showcase that behavior, we think it's weird. We think it's not part of the norm, even though that's everyday life. And I would watch a men's volleyball game. Once again, it goes back to my point of the Olympics. People have people who actually watch women play basketball. People watch men do gymnastics because it's not about like men and women. It's about your country. And I feel like if you put the same level of thought that the Olympic people do and the WNBA and NBA, you have the same result.
We won't have the same results. We just have better results. Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said I just forgot what I was about to say. I hate when I do that. I forgot what I was about to say. I really just forgot that quick. But you know, I feel like we've put a lot of energy into this one specific topic. Now we're gonna dig a little deeper with, Mr. Black Power, Mr. Nick Cannon, who had some truth but choice words that he said on a podcast that got his show Wildin' Out canceled, and he also was canceled from what was the show he was on?
Mass Singer.
Yeah, Mass Singer. How do y'all feel about that, man? Let me start there. Let me start here.
I'm torn in between, man. Honestly.
What are
Well,
you
what he
talking
said on his podcast that you were referring to is
Yeah,
he called whites and Jews the true savages. Now, the problem that the black community has with this is that he went back and tried to apologize for the same statement. So now I'm not even going to say we because I agree with the apology.
Why? If you say something, mean it. History shows that.
I agree with that,
unfortunately, whites
but
are savages.
this was a year ago. This is now 2020. This is a whole new year. So I may have said something a year ago, and I don't feel the same way I do now. Therefore, I have to apologize for what I said to you a year ago. That's basically what he did. So now black people feel like he a sellout. He ain't really about the Black Lives Matter life or
That's another thing we got to fix in our community.
whatever, man. Just because he apologized
We quick
don't
to
mean
give up on
he
some
ain't about that
people, boy,
life.
ain't we?
Whatever. That's just I'm torn between
I
the two.
think. So, this is where I stand with it. That's why I said he has truths, and like I can understand your perspective.
Mhm.
You know, a year has gone past from when he said that to when it blew up over Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah.
From the way history is presented, whites can be perceived as like, or if you want to say Jews as well, they are perceived as savages.
Yeah.
If you go from, Christopher Columbus to, the slaves and, we don't have to go down that road. But if you go throughout the whole time, even now, it's not as bad as it was once then. But if you go back to when Martin Luther King, since we were talking about John Lewis, if you go back to and you see some of those videos, how like white people used to hang black, black people, how they used to feed the black people to dogs. They didn't burn them. They didn't did everything. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at history, from how it was from the history books and stuff like that, you can say whites can be perceived as like savages. Because in reality, that's all we really learned from Columbus, found the so-called United States, which that's another lie. Because black people were already here. Well, colored people. Let me not just say black people, but colored people were already here. The natives. I mean, we could really go down that timeline, but from the way history is taught to us and presented to us, you can't say that. Now, was it inappropriate to say?
Absolutely.
I don't know
And
because
the way he said it.
I think it's more.
If you would have cleaned it up a little bit better. had
Yeah,
some facts.
there's a way to deliver everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you can say, I dislike white people, but once you say I hate white people, then that adds a whole
Even with
different
that
layer.
statement, I hate. I mean, I would hate a strong word. I dislike some of the actions that white people do.
Yeah, so like he could have been like he could have just simply said from what's been presented to us through our history books and
Yeah.
stuff like that, whites and Jews can be perceived as savages. Now, if he would have said that, I don't think the pushback would have been as strong. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm torn between it. If his apology is just to apologize because he hurt some people, then I don't think he should apologize. But if his apology is coming from, it was delivered the wrong way and this and that, then I can understand that. But if he's apologizing because he hurt some people and this and that, then I think that's wrong. You never apologize for saying how you feel. Now, you can apologize for how you deliver how you felt, because I can say some mean things and be
Disrespectful.
disrespectful, but if I come to you in a respectful manner about things you've either done or this and that and lay it out on the table, it can be perceived a lot different.
I saw somebody say that where they was talking about how Nick Cannon said Jews were the new blacks. I have no idea what he could possibly mean by that.
What do you mean?
What? How are Jews and blacks common in any way? I don't.
Slavery.
Slavery. Yeah. And this is another thing I'll never understand.
I get
How
it.
can they be dark skinned like us but be different than
But that's with, I feel like that's with a lot of like people of color, like cultures. Because I had a friend who was Asian, and I never saw her as dark skin, but that's how her family perceived her as, because she was of like darker skin tone compared to her other cousins.
us?
And so like that's like dark skin in general is seen frowned upon again in a lot of cultures. So I guess with that,
I think, I don't know, that's a slippery slope, man. Like I said, I think the delivery is really everything with how Nick Cannon said it, but if you really search the true history, like, I'll never understand how someone can be just as black as me, but they have a what so-called different race. Well, not different race, but ethnicity. I can't speak right now. I'll never understand. Some things I'll never understand. You know what I'm saying? Just how like families who carry on the African tradition, but a lot of so-called African Americans don't. You see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of it can be misconstrued and can cause a lot of confusion unless you know your history.
and that's why I feel like when you want to talk about something that's controversial,
Yeah.
you need to like come with facts, because
For
people
sure.
are so quick to like argue with you about basic human rights and anti-racism. They're like so quick to like argue with that, even though it shouldn't be an argument. So I feel like with those kind of statements, we need to come with like just facts, and it's even like basic facts, how like
For sure.
just say Jim Crow laws and just how we were still fighting for injustice.
For sure. I think before we go into our spill the beans, before I let Elijah take over, I think, I mean, you hit the nail on the coffin with that. Conversations like that need to be just straight facts. No emotions, no opinions, just straight facts. And I believe the delivery in all this can help, you know, smooth over the transition from how things can be translated and perceived, and not make it seem like it's coming from a hateful place or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts. You have any more thoughts before we go into Spill the Beans?
I do not.
Do you have any more thoughts before we go into the Spill the Beans? Well, we're about to go into the most toxic, most generated part of our show, where we have Spill the Beans, where we all take a second to spill a bean about us that people don't know about us or whatever, and this is called Spill the Beans. We're very honest. We try to be as truthful, but as careful at the same time with our Spill the Beans. So who wants to start it off this time? You want to start off, Joya?
Please start. Make Elijah go first.
Did she just say she always
I
starts?
always
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Elijah is at the
All right,
table.
I'll go first.
Don't be shocked by anything.
I don't like how the generation before us tries to pin our generation or blame our generation for the problems that's going on today, when most of these problems were invented by, what's that, Generation
The boomer.
X?
No, that's after.
Generation Y, yeah, they Generation, wait.
No, where?
No, they Generation X. Yeah, I said it right. But yeah, like the cell phones, they invented all this stuff. They started buying children's cars at 14s. That started in y'all generation. I'm gonna point it all out. All this stuff that y'all started, y'all like to blame for us. Blame us like we did. We just piggyback off of the stuff that y'all taught us. And I'm gonna just leave it there. That's my beans.
Shawty got the coupe as a lot. I'll tell you that right now, boy.
Man, but,
Just to piggyback on what you said, one thing I don't say hate, but dislike. No, it almost is a hate. I hate how they act like we ain't, like we doing something they wasn't doing back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
If we go back to them old Heavy D,
War on drugs, all that started with y'all.
yeah,
This-
y'all
we
want to
didn't
get on
bring
us
this here.
like y'all want to crack like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all wonder on all that. That is one thing that will, like, but now they all seasoned saints now. You know what I'm saying? They all come to church like they wasn't back in the parties in the Soul Train line or with they boo or like,
Pastor said, be careful.
Pastor say your boo or booette. Like they weren't back in the day doing their own thing. But I will agree with that. They need to stop judging us like they weren't. Y'all used to smoke cigarettes at school. Don't even get me started on y'all.
Exactly.
In public offices, they be in the post office.
Licking frogs. Come on now.
Y'all used to be able to go to the store to get cigarettes for your mama and all that. But
That's my beans.
They the reason why the drinking age changed.
You want to go or do you want me to
You
go?
go.
Let's see. Oh, that was a good one. My beans this week. I wish people could be. I want people to be more honest with their truthful self. Like, there's no way to be careful about this. So our generation struggles with sex.
Yeah, for sure.
The LBGQ, I don't know all the rest of the letters, no disrespect to them. Our generation struggles with those things. And I feel like a lot of people hide who they really are. And too many people try to play God when it comes to turning people the right way. Of course, we all have falling short of the glory of God, no matter who it is. That's one thing I love about our pastor. He speaks from experience. We got a call from Pastor McKinley, baby.
Oh, wow.
Hold on. Let's see what Pastor has to say. Hold on. I missed this call. I'm going to put him on speakerphone. He told us to be careful 2 times. Let's see if he picks up. Pastor,
You have reached the voicemail.
how you gonna call me Pastor?
21420.
If you watching Pastor, call me back. We're gonna put you on. But I wish more people would just
Be genuine.
yeah, be genuine. It's a lot of fake people out here. Here we go. We got Pastor. Now you be careful, Pastor. Oh, Pastor over here playing games. He trying to cut into our time. He gonna call and hang up. All right, Pastor. You want some more? We gonna get y'all on the what's the
Church for Real.
Church for Real. We gonna get y'all on that Church for Real. Don't you worry about it. Look, I'm just deny your call. That's what our generation do. We deny calls over here. But that is one thing I would say. I wish people would be more genuine within themselves. And seek help with things they really need help with, regardless if they're struggling with their within themselves with their personality. People in our generation struggle with sex. There's a lot of sex going on. There's a lot of like the LGBTQ, all that stuff is going on. I feel like a lot of people have personality disorders. That's the safe way to say it.
Yeah.
But the social media area has really messed up a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now you got all these women out here. Pastor keep on calling. I don't think he want to talk. Pastor, I'm giving you one more chance. You hear me? Hello?
I keep trying. Why you trying on the phone, man?
You calling, so you want to be on the show, so here you go. Here go your airtime right here, Pastor. Go ahead. Say what you got to say, Pastor.
I was trying to tell you that I'm Generation X, so you be very careful. I know about Generation X.
Yeah, that's what I said, Generation X.
Look here, because y'all enjoying all these things that we give you for Generation X. All your Xbox, all your Madden, all your PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and the phone comes out. All the nice stuff that you have is because Generation X. So be very careful.
We're very grateful for y'all's sacrifice.
Take your iPhone, your Android, all your look here, and I know Elijah like to play Madden. I'm gonna come take his Madden game from you to my Generation X.
Yeah, we just want y'all to stop judging us like y'all won. Y'all were actually
And
crazy
y'all,
in
and y'all
there.
addicted to it.
Yeah.
Especially on your
And just
phones.
leave my Heavy in the Boys and my Run DMC and all of my rap, because if that didn't happen,
What was
you
the
wouldn't
one?
have your rap
Oh, don't let
today.
me mention Uncle Luke. Come on now, Pastor.
Luke was too bad even for my time. Luke was bad for my time.
All right, Pastor.
But I'm gonna say this. Our generation has struggled with sex. I mean, every generation.
That is true.
If you look at the biblical times,
Mhm.
that's been an issue. I think it's a human nature that we all have struggled with that.
We're animals in a way, and there's no safe way to say it. But like, if you study animals, like it's
Same thing.
yeah, we relate a lot to like animals and like.
I see. Look at my 2 minutes up.
All right, Pastor. Well, we're gonna let you go. Thank you for calling in. We're gonna see you again.
All right, good show, guys.
All right, thank you. But I'm gonna pass it to you. But he is right. Sex has been a very big thing that has gone on throughout time. I really want to know. No, I'm not gonna even say it. I'm gonna just pass it.
Oh, you scared?
I ain't scared, but what's so?
He's scared.
What's so bad about it, but what's so bad about it?
I think it's
There's a time and a place for everything, and God made the time for it. And sometimes we
The
abuse
time-
it.
no. I've heard before that sex really makes you one, where you're not really one with your partner until you have sex. So
Because
if you
that's
just
what
go
God
around
is
having sex
married.
with everybody,
For sure.
you one with everybody, which that's impossible. So I think we're supposed to
I
put
mean, a
sex
tree got
on the
many
scale.
branches now. Come
Yeah,
on.
that's true. But I just think we're supposed to put a scale on sex on the scale to where we only want to do it, or you're only supposed to do it with the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. That's just my take on it.
All right, so Joya, I want to let you take it last. What's some beans you want to spill? I hope we have enough time. Well, we got 2 minutes, but
Well, we talked about all the generations.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a millennial. I'm actually Gen Z, the best generation.
Absolutely not.
The best. Anyway.
Pending.
And I
That's
feel
pending.
like
Y'all got
I
off
ain't
to a
heard
rough
that one
start.
before. Okay, look, we
But
gotta
y'all
let it go.
coming along.
We gotta let it go.
Anyway. I just think one of our biggest flaws is like mental health. I feel like we've gotten to a place where like it's more acceptable and it's like okay for like someone to say, I'm talking to a therapist, and it's not like frowned upon. But I also feel like one of our downfalls is just that I feel like we're all a little bit messed up and we all kind of like normalize it too much to the fact it's just like today I really didn't feel well. Like today I wanted to like no longer be on earth, and my friend could be like, same, feel that, 100%. And like that's in the conversation instead of it just being like a genuine like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times people are like actually like reaching out and like trying to say that they're not doing away, and you have other people who glamorize mental health and just like, I'm also depressed, and like they're not, because they think it's a trend. They think it's like something to be like happy about when there's like people who are struggling. So I feel like if we talk more about the fact like this is depression and this is anxiety and this is eating disorder and this is that, and if you're feeling that way, like speak up about it and like don't glamorize it, because it's not fun. It's not something that
Shaming people.
and stop shaming people. So I just feel like we are like coming to the point where it's like it's okay, but it's also like there's too many people who are just like trying to like fit into it, even though it's not something that you want to fit into.
I can agree with that. I feel like as time goes and more information is able to come out from either the internet, but books and stuff like that. My generation and generations after us, we're not so quick to just believe something. Like, nah, you guys show us proof, homie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain things that our generation and then the generation after us, we're big on like, all right, well, show us proof. You know what I'm saying? From back then, it was, oh, this is how it goes and this is it. And all right, yes, sir, yes, sir. No, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. But through time, everything just elevates. Everything gets better with time. Before you know it, we'll be able to play video games without a controller. We'll literally be able to play it like in an animated series. Like, you know what I'm saying? Things just get better with time. But that's all we have for the... Do you have anything else you want to say with that, Joya? Anything you want to say before we close it
I
out?
have a question for Pastor. Answer this on your next church for episode. That's fine. When the devil was sent to hell or whatever, was he in heaven currently, or did he get sent straight from earth to hell? That's my question. And I'm asking this question because I've heard you can't do no evil in heaven. So if he was in heaven, how did he become evil? That's just my question. All right, bye.
Well, welcome to, well, not welcome. This was a great show we had today. We want to thank everybody. Joya, the co-host, Eli, Elijah, and me, Cedric Carter. We thank y'all again. Don't forget the golden rule. Do unto others as you will have them do unto you. For this is the law of the prophets. That's Matthew 7:12, which they were basically saying, respect others if you want respect. If you're going to disrespect someone, be ready to get disrespected. Love and peace to all of you all. This is CYA, Confessions of a Young Adult. Love and peace, and we'll see y'all again in a bit.
Wasn't because